Ocean.
Look up on the wall. There on the floor. Under the pillow.
Welcome in on a wonderful Monday morning, April the 20th. Weather got the best of the Tigers' spring football, I guess, fan fest. Really, it wasn't going to be a game, but it was going to be a nice practice. Everybody would have gotten a nice preview of the stadium. And, you know, we all check weather. We all got phones. We all got the apps from the weather stations. They all let us know possibilities. I think there was like 1/10 of an inch of rain. I mean, that was being on the safe side, so there was no Spring Fest. I think there could have been, but that's just the way it goes. But it didn't dampen Coach Charles Huff's first spring practice season with the Tigers. His quote, "Best spring practice I've been a part of holistically," which means it's all the parts coming together, basically. And he clearly was happy with what he saw. The quarterback battle, that's undecided. We knew that would be the case. Aaron Nolan, Marcus Stokes, you're not going to know until like maybe a week before the regular season starts. They'll go through fall scrimmages and everything else before they determine that. It sure looks like on the defensive side that the Tigers linebacker Mike Montgomery is going to be a leader, and the cornerback, defensive back Ian Foster is going to be a leader. Looks like they're going to be pretty solid there. They did not establish a two deep. That will be for fall practice. I thought it was interesting how this guy, he really searches for every little detail and every little thing. He's open to trying to figure out exactly what he can do to make this team come together. He brought in Charlie Strong to put new eyes on there. Same thing for Jimbo Fisher. I didn't realize he was at all close or had a relationship with Jimbo Fisher, but I think this is all the Nick Saban connection. But a spring practice in the books for Charles Huff in his first term here with the University of Memphis. A lot of things happened over the weekend. You know what we do? We do a thing called Medals. We got this busy show. Right after that, TJ Reeves is going to join us here in a minute. Mike DeCourcy will join us middle segment. And then the man who this week will have completed his 100,000th lesson. Did you hear me say that? 100,000 lessons. A nice piece written by Jeff Calkins in the Daily Memphian about Ted Butler. We will chat with Ted Butler in our final segment. Metals brought to you in part by Family Leisure. You know the chemical sale is going. I actually got some chemicals the other day. It's just terrific. There's a reduced price, and it's going on, I think, for the rest of the month. In the meantime, they do have this thing they're calling the Battle of the Brands. 7 manufacturers all fighting for your business, going on through May 10th. Hot Tubs and Swim Spa Expo. You're going to love the Battle of the Brands because you are the winner. I got to give a bronze medal to Matt Fitzpatrick. He won his second time at Harbortown. He's the first foreign player, European player, ever to win twice at the RBC Heritage at that beautiful golf course. By the way, you've got to really be a good player to win at Harbortown. You've got to be able to work the ball both ways, hit the ball straight. It's tree lined the whole way, windy conditions. I mean, it was amazing. Fitzpatrick beat Scotty in a playoff. Scotty Scheffler ends up getting Matthew on the 72nd hole. I thought all momentum had swung Scotty's way, but Fitzpatrick hit a second shot on the playoff that was just unbelievable. A 5-iron into the wind low that settled about 12, 13 feet, and he made the putt. It looked like Scotty was going to bogey anyway. So a congratulations and a bronze goes to Matthew Fitzpatrick. I got to give Orlando and Desmond Bain, who's the glue, I think, of this Orlando Magic team. The scorer, obviously, is Paolo Banchero, but they upset the number 1 seed, Detroit, in Motown yesterday. They beat Charlotte. Many people thought Charlotte was the hottest team going in the play-in, that Charlotte would be the team playing the Detroit Pistons. That was not the case. And I think Desmond Bain had a lot to do with that. You think he misses all that tanking that was going on in Memphis? I highly doubt that. A silver medal goes to Stuart Sink. He won his first senior major. He won the Charles Schwab Cup last year at 51. So he's won like 6 senior tournaments. He'd never won a senior major. He has now. He shot a 63 in the final round at the Senior PGA Championship. So he gets a silver from me for that. Victor Wembanyama gets a silver medal as well. Victor Wembanyama, 35 points in his NBA playoff debut. Remember, they didn't make the playoffs the last couple of years. He scored 35 points. They beat Portland 111-98. That's the most points in a playoff debut for the entire San Antonio franchise. That includes Tim Duncan and David Robinson, who were both in attendance yesterday watching that thing. And then my gold medal goes to Clint McDonald, Anthony Miller, Doc Holliday. All 3 of those were inducted into the Memphis U of M Hall of Fame on Friday night. Congratulations to all who made it, those 3 in particular, and I know all 3 of those guys pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my first bronze medal, I'm going to go to High A minor league baseball. For the Rome Emperors. The Rome Emperors had a game this past Friday against the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. They ended up winning 3-2, but that's not the reason I'm giving them a bronze medal. In the minor leagues and a lot of sporting events, they usually have themed nights of like something special going on. The theme for this game was Agriculture Night, and in the place that at AutoZone Park we would call the Bluff, that little grassy area in the foul ball area, they had sheep. A herd of sheep just wandering out, having a great old time, I guess enjoying a baseball game, almost got hit by a foul ball. I just thought that was incredibly interesting that there was an agriculture night and we had a herd of sheep at a minor league baseball game. I'm giving a silver medal to Luke Kennard, who showed up in a huge way in the KD-less Rockets, 27 points, 5 for 5 in three-pointers. And this stat was also really interesting to me that they released after the fact, and it was the record of Ohio high school boys basketball in career points scored in their time in high school. LeBron is 5th on that list all time with 2,646 points, while Luke Kennard is 2nd with 2,977 points. Wow. So Luke Kennard, he knows how to score.
Oh, he does.
Showed up in a huge way.
He was amazing in that game. I really was.
He absolutely was. And then in other NBA news, very NBA heavy weekend, of course. A lot of great duo play from a lot of people, including Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who combined for 51 points and 15 rebounds, completely dominating the 76ers in round one. And then on the other side, you've got the Nuggets. Jokic had another triple-double, which is just as easy as breathing air for him. 25 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. And then Jamal Murray, who had himself a 30-piece. And then also a silver medal just to the West Division in the NBA, where all 3 finalists for the MVP award is coming out of the West with Wembanyama, Jokic, and SGA. So huge for them. And you give them a bronze. I'm going to go ahead and give them a gold, just because anytime you win in a shootout over Scottie Scheffler at the RBC Heritage is really, really impressive. So a huge gold medal for Matt Fitzpatrick, getting that win and winning his RBC for the second time.
You got to be a shot maker to win on that course. I can tell you that. I got 2 quick rusts. One to the New York Mets, losers of 11 in a row. That's the longest losing streak since 2004. They've got like the 2nd or 3rd highest budget. This is disaster in New York. And Brian DeChambeau, who withdrew from the Mexico Live event, he said it was his wrist. This comes a day after he complained about the conditions of the golf course. Mm-hmm. And he was also 16 strokes behind the winner, John Rahm, to start the 3rd round. He just went AWOL. Whew! tough year for him.
Yeah, AWOL is a good way to put that. Two quick rusts for me. I'm giving a rust to the Pistons, who absolutely blew it in game number 1. Cade Cunningham played phenomenally. He had himself more than 30 points in that game, but Jalen Duren was completely absent and are now shockingly down 0-1 to the Magic, who are having an incredible run right now.
They just basically camped in the paint and
they did.
Made him useless.
Yeah.
They're gonna the Pistons got to figure something out.
Yeah, they absolutely
with
did.
that. I can't believe they'll lose that series, but
I don't think they will.
This is going to be worth watching. That is for sure.
Yeah, they'll definitely get back on track. But then another kind of a rust for me, growing up as a lifelong WWE fan and seeing how there's a deal with ESPN, and now ESPN is covering it like it's a sport, like football or baseball or basketball. I just find it kind of interesting because now ESPN, the app, the posts, everything is flooded with the WWE. I'm like, they have a separate account for all that stuff. I don't know. For me, that just doesn't make sense.
No disrespect to my good friend Jerry Lawler. I never watched 1 second. And he was there, by the way. Never watched 1 second of it. It is not my deal.
I had my eyes locked on
It's theater, folks. It's theater with good
now
athletes.
it's technically sports entertainment. So
well, that's theater.
I don't know.
In my estimation. Those are our medals. TJ Reeves coming your way from Tampa in a minute. He's brought to you by Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You know, if it says Landers, it's going to be first class. You know you're going to get the best top dollar for any trade that you may have. You know you're going to walk into that remodeled showroom, you're going to go, wow. Then you're going to see all the new Cadillacs, which are just fantastic. And you're going to be dealing with the best people. And you ought to see how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Cadillac, Landers, I should say, Cadillac, you paid too much. And this portion of the show brought to you by Shell Dunn. The azaleas have bloomed, and so have the real estate signs. Shell Dunn with Marks Bensdorf reminds you he's been watching the inventory increase steadily since February, and with the rates holding steady, the market has been exploding with business. But to get that business, you need an agent who is affiliated with a nationwide relocation network, has a strategic marketing program, and a strong internet presence. That guy would be my guy, Sheldon Rosengarten. You can try reaching him at 483-0546, and he'll answer by the second ring, unlike he's shanking balls on the golf course, which is very rare because he's too busy working for you. When you want the job done, call Sheldon. They may call him the worst golfer in town, but make sure you talk to him or 2 through 3 real estate agents. I promise you, he'll show you that marketing strategy, and you'll be on your way to the closing table. 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. We relocate down to Tampa, Florida. TJ Reeves joins us now. I know his Bucks are getting ready for the NFL draft, but I first want to ask you. I want to ask you first about the live golfers and the prospect that the Saudis are going to pull the PIF funding from that group. What will you do if you're the PGA CEO now? What do you do with John Rahm, with Bryson DeChambeau, who's acting like a little spoiled baby, even Cam Smith? Those are the only 3 I would really even care about. How would you integrate them back into the PGA, if indeed at all? You heard Tom Watson say, lifetime ban is a lifetime ban.
Interesting. Yeah, big step in sports. Lifetime bans usually last like a year, and then we let people back in. First of all, let's cover some quick ground. You have completed another lap around the sun. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I will have been married 30 years. God love Mrs. Reeves on May the 11th. Soon after that, Thomas Reeves Sr. of the Memphis State class of 1967 will turn 80 years old. And the next week, my twins graduate from high school. So other than that, we got nothing going on in the month of May.
No. Wow.
So that is crazy. One other sidebar, speaking of golf, I got the chance to interview Grant Boone last week from the Masters Amen Corner coverage and the LPGA coverage that he does. Great golf broadcaster on Golf Channel. Grant Boone is a huge Memphis State basketball guy, and we were reminiscing about the Mid-South Coliseum. in the 80s. Did you not know that?
No.
He's a huge Memphis State guy.
I'm a big Grant Boone fan. I never knew he had any connection to the
He
U of
used
M.
to live right by the Mid-South Coliseum in the 70s and the 80s,
I'll be
growing
darned.
up.
Wow.
All right, so he and I were reminiscing, just one more real quick, and then we'll tie it back to the Live Golf Tour. And I said, I believe this is the case. May of 1992, you remember young, green, fresh-faced TJ doing the radio. I graduated at the Mid-South Coliseum, and that may have been the last graduating class for the former Memphis State at the Mid-South Coliseum, because I believe they moved the graduations to the Pyramid, the Tomb of Doom,
That sounds right.
later that year.
Yeah.
So somebody would have to correct us that knows that on the Mighty Sports 56. So we're going back to the dark ages now of the old Mid-South Coast. All right, so back to your premise. The first thing is they already let Brooks Koepka come back without suspending him. So one thing we know is money talks. Koepka made a $5 million donation to paid a fine/donation to PGA Tour causes and charities, and he's allowed to come back immediately. So why do I think that if John Rahm and even DeChambeau want to come back here, that they're not going to be able to pay their way in and play immediately the same way? Watch. And if it's not, then we're maybe back in court.
Well, remember,
on
that was supposed to be a one-time deal. You know what I would make them do?
Well,
I'd make them
yeah.
pay the fine for sure. I wouldn't give them any
Right.
of the equity that they say will be about $50 million that they're going to lose. But I'd make them go through the Corn Ferry Tour. You got to win there if you want to get back.
You're trying to be punitive. All right, well, we'll see what happens. First of all, we don't know that the Live Tour is going to disintegrate. Remember, just a week ago at this time, the tournament in Mexico was off and it had all ceased, and all of that was wrong. All of that was wrong. They played this weekend. They still have their money, and it still remains to be seen whether they're going to have a tour. Do they merge with maybe the DP World Tour? That's one of the rumors. Do the stars stay? Probably not. And then what happens? Here's another name real quick. What happens with Phil Mickelson, who has great value, by the way, to the PGA Tour for this thing called the Champions Tour, and is eligible to play and can play? And while Tiger Woods doesn't look like that he's ever going to be a competitive golf factor again, he's got to get his life together, Mickelson could be a real drawing card. Mickelson would be tremendous, by the way, in the broadcast booth.
Oh,
too.
he blew it. He would have been the analyst, the
Okay.
number one
Well, yeah,
analyst.
sure. But what do you do on welcoming him back or not?
I
So
don't
they've
know
got
if
to
you do.
sort through a lot.
I don't know
They
if
gotta
you
sort
do.
through.
I really do not. I'm not sure. I think Phil became a pariah when he did what he did, because he was really the leader of making that a credible entity. And I mean, that's the first really big guy Greg Norman went after. He got him. He paid him really well. How about John Rahm? John Rahm's made $92 million in earnings from playing on that tour.
By the way, this just into the newsroom. This is why they did it. This is why they all took the tens of millions of dollars in guarantees. A couple of them got.
He got 300.
more.
He got 300 to 500 to
That's
sign.
right. That's why they did it. And so, stay tuned on how it all sorts out. The last chapters are not written. I will say this, but for all the history revisionism, the elevated events that are going on the PGA Tour right now, for double the prize money, triple the prize money, with no cuts and all of that, is a direct result of what Phil Mickelson and the others came to the tour and said, which is, this is ridiculous how many billions with a B you're making, and you're not funneling it down to the tournaments and the players. And it's further ridiculous that we're playing every week with a cut, most weeks with a pro-am. This is ridiculous. And watch us go do something somewhere else that is the model of what you should be doing. And lo and behold, the PGA Tour relented, and now the prize money's much more, and you have multiple events that don't have a cut, that have a limited field, that don't have a pro-am. So they have the live guys to thank for that, by the way. They should
do.
thank them for that.
And I will say this, obviously the money was there, and Phil Mickelson called him out on that. But you're not going to see team play, and I don't think you're going to see all events non-cut. And this is how much money there is in this. John Rahm's caddy has his estate, 100 acres, 20 minutes outside of Charlotte, on sale for $14 million. The caddy.
The caddy.
Yeah.
The caddy.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's a Will Ocean type deal.
Sure.
I'll sell my ranch for $14 million. But Anyway, last chapter's not written on the whole live thing. Remember that they're punishing Patrick Reed because they don't like him, so he's got to be out until August. Then he can come back and play.
He's got to play. He's got to get there through the DP World Tour, which they have that's Korn Ferry Tour, DP World Tour. He's already won a couple of times, so I think he's already got, because he's won twice. He does get qualification in a year later, and he's got to pay the fines, which I'm pretty sure.
Which again, if you're making some people be suspended and still fining them, I mean, why do I think the lawyers aren't going to get involved again with court challenges and things like that on why did you let somebody do it? Anyway, we'll see. Great golf yesterday with Scheffler, obviously, and Matthew Fitzpatrick, who Tampa at the Valspar back a couple of weeks ago, or actually now about a month ago before everything unfolded at Augusta, and now he wins again. How about the stat? Did you hear the stat that Jim Nance gave? That was the first time ever in the 60-plus years of that event that two former champions were in the final group on the final day trying to win the tournament. Wow. That had never happened before with Scheffler and Fitzpatrick. How crazy is that?
He's the first foreign player to win it twice. You got to be a great player, I think, to win that tournament because you got to work the ball. I mean, you got to have a complete game. Here was the biggest stat that I thought that was incredible. On the first day, Thursday, Matt Fitzpatrick, how many putts do you think he took in his round?
Typically, you would have, if you're having a great round, somewhere around 20, 22. I'm going to go 21.
20.
21.
Unbelievable. 20. All right, before we run out of time, quickly, NFL draft. Big surprises. Good class. What do you think?
Well, the real interesting thing is, obviously, Mendoza goes 1 to the Raiders. And then where does Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback, go? Quick nugget for you.
Late first round.
Okay, quick nugget for you. If he does not go in the first round and no other quarterback gets taken in the first round, that's the first time since 2001. Michael Vick was the number 1 overall pick by Atlanta. Do you know the famous soon-to-be Hall of Famer that was picked next in the second round? 2001 draft. The Chargers picked him, but he's much more famous for what he did in New Orleans.
Drew Brees. Drew Brees. Wow.
That's the last time.
He was a second-round guy?
First pick of the second round was Drew Brees. That's the last time that an NFL draft has only had one quarterback taken in the first round. Stay tuned for that. Does the Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love go early? The rumors are he might be in the top 5. Everybody needs an edge rusher, including my Buccaneers. There are several of them.
So do my Bears, no doubt.
Stay tuned. This will be crazy. By the way, they've reduced it from 10 minutes per pick to 8 minutes per pick on Thursday. So hopefully it'll go quicker. It used to be 15 minutes a pick,
I know.
By the way.
Do you think a running back should go in the top 5? With the way the game is played now?
Interesting on that. The last time, I'm giving you more nuggets, the last time that happened is Saquon Barkley, who went second to the Giants. How did that turn out, especially for the Eagles? I don't know about picking a running back in the top 5 anymore, but apparently somebody is about to do it.
Yeah.
And Love is an explosive player, but is he a 7 or 8, 10-year star in the NFL? Because you can get running backs in day 2. You can get running backs on day 3. The Buccaneers got Bucky Irving on day 3 of the draft a couple of years ago as a 5th-round pick. You can find these guys later, so stay tuned on Love and the rest of this on Thursday.
We'll talk to you next Monday. Thank you, my friend.
All right, my friend. Great to be with you. HBD. Happy birthday. HBD to you.
Thank
be well.
You. Thank you much. That is TJ Reeves. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Whether you're a small business owner, or maybe you're buying your first home, Southern Security should be your trusted financial partner. For over 75 years, Southern Security's been serving the Mid-South with the best rates because they can do things others can't. They're a not-for-profit. They've got the best service. They've got the newest technology. You should see the branch they just built in Collierville. It's been voted the best credit union in the Mid-South for the last 6 years. To find out how you can join the family, just visit southernsecurity.org or talk to a service member at 901-452-7900. Southern Security, your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. We're going to Pittsburgh in a minute. Our good friend Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News is next.
My
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like roadside assistance.
Oh yeah, Progressive offers that.
Great. Do you have plans Saturday? My cousin canceled and I'd love to have someone to ride with.
Actually, we just do insurance, not riding buddies.
Cool, let's meet at noon. Actually, scratch that. 10 a.m., you and me, breakfast at a diner.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
Okay, so if you beat me there, get me the Lumberjack special. We can share.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in, cruising through a fabulous Monday morning. Every year, thousands visit Memphis and Shelby County, not just to hear our music or sample our food, but take in a sporting event or a tournament. And now, if your school or team or league is exploring the possibility of hosting a sporting event in our community, that brings an out-of-town audience. You need to get a hold of Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council because they'll help coach you through the process. They can provide valuable destination insight and helpful planning strategies for a winning event. They're the pros at doing all of this. Visit memphisportscouncil.com to learn more about how you can play a part in growing the Memphis visitor economy through sports. They really know what they're doing, and they'd love to help you. That's Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. Every week they bring you Mike DeCourcy, who I guess we're having a hard time getting a hold of, although he just did give me a thumbs up that he was going to be on. So we sure we got the right number? Okay. In the meantime, I'll tell you exactly what I want to adjust to them because I found this incredibly interesting. Last week, there was a good story written, and I can't remember, I think it was Jason Munns who wrote it, that was talking about conversations with athletic director Ed Scott. And Dr. Scott was saying, first off, schools like Memphis need to protect themselves, and therefore they need to set up multi-year contracts that would include buyouts if a student athlete leaves. When you're in Memphis's position, And if you have a great year here and a school that's a Power 4, which has 10 times the money that you do, they can outpay what you can pay for that guy. Out he goes. You need a buyout. That's part of it. The other I thought was really interesting, because I don't know how many of the coaches in the country could do this, although it would be a part of their stake, and they do make pretty good money. I do think this was more directed to Penny Hardaway. He was saying, why don't you guys contribute some to the cause? In other words, put up some of your own salary to pay the salaries of the players. I found that very intriguing from the Sporting News. Mike DeCourcy does join us now. Again, brought to you by Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. So I just laid that out. Buyouts and Dr. Scott's hint to coaches that maybe they should come up with some of the money to pay the players. Good morning. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm honestly surprised more don't do it, and I'm not sure that more don't do it but do it quietly. I don't know for certain. I would think that at a certain level, a certain amount of money in your pocket, if you want to be successful and you want to continue doing that particular job, I'm a big believer in you don't buy a job, but you can buy success, perhaps. I am surprised that we don't know more that it happens. I can't say it doesn't, because there may be things happening we just don't know about, but I'm surprised that more don't make it obvious that they are doing it.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You couldn't say this about every coach in college basketball. Penny's worth, and I'm being, I think, conservative here, anywhere between $50 and $100 million. He could certainly afford to give $1 million of the 2-point-something million that he's making. He makes like $7 million from shoes. He could certainly afford that. I guess coaches that are making $8 to $10 million, what would be $1 million out of their pocket? That would be absolutely nothing in comparison. I think it would be really hard pressed for the coach at Wichita State or the coach at Charlotte to take money out of their pocket.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and that there is a difference there. And I don't know how much, if you're one of those coaches that's making $5 to $10 million, how much taking one out of that is going to change your season. It may, if you need that extra money and you can't find it anywhere else to get that one particular player that you know can make a difference for you, then it may make a difference in that instance. But $1 million probably at the level, the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12 level, Big East probably as well, or at least the levels of the Big East where they're highly successful. That $1 million is not substantially changing you. It may improve your overall available payroll by 10%.
I was just going to say that is a 10% bump, which is helpful. Certainly is not helpful. Everything, but it's helpful, especially if you've identified a guy that you go, you know what, I'll put it toward this guy because he's worth the money.
Yeah, if there's a position of need, a player who really fits what you want to do, and you're just a little short of what the other people are offering, I'm surprised it doesn't come up more often, honestly, Dave.
Yeah. What about buyouts for especially a school like Memphis that has a decent amount of money? I'm going to say $5 to $6 million in NIL money, and they've identified somebody pretty good, and they're paying them a decent amount of money. Dr. Scott's saying, I want to offer you a multi-year contract, not a 1 year, a 2-year, 3-year deal. If you leave to go to a Power 4, God bless you, but you're going to have to buy us out.
Well, that's a fine idea, but why would I sign that deal if I can do better elsewhere?
Right.
If you want these things, negotiate them. The NCAA and its membership, primarily the membership, have done nothing over the course of this era, whenever you want to say it started. It really started with O'Bannon, the case in 2014, but when it really started to fly was during the pandemic when California's legislature passed their NIL rule, and everybody else followed along. And, okay, so all of a sudden we're in this era, and then it's starting to escalate. They've done nothing to try to negotiate with the player class. Nothing. And and at this point, they've allowed it to get to the point where the player class has essentially no incentive to agree to any negotiation because they have so much leverage and therefore make so much more money. And there may come I keep hearing the word, this is unsustainable. And I'm like, okay, well, why is it unsustainable? Well, the people who are donating won't want to donate forever. Well, okay, so let's just say that all of a sudden tomorrow, all the rich people who are funding this decided we're not doing it at this level anymore. We're going to cut it by half. And obviously they wouldn't do this, but let's say half of them dropped out. Well, okay, so then there's all these players are still making way more money than they ever imagined they'd make at the college level. And we may see a few more guys like Braylon Mullins just go ahead and go to the NBA draft. UConn's a terrific freshman who needs another year of development and instead is playing a second season at UConn rather than go to the draft and be maybe the 21st pick or 25th pick or whatever it would be.
Yeah, but that's 2 years guaranteed money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that this concept that it's unsustainable is fantastic. It's what people want to happen. They want it to be unsustainable because they want their schools to come back into being competitive in ways they aren't now. The other schools have more billionaires than we do, so we're not competitive. I had a discussion with a Syracuse fan online who's so really upset that Syracuse isn't any good anymore. And I'm like, well, first of all, it's not all just money. And he said, I know, I've been a Syracuse fan for a long time. I know what we... And I'm like, okay, but when it was Syracuse getting more money because they sold 30,000 tickets and everybody else was selling 7 or 10, I didn't hear any complaints from Syracuse fans then. Now you're mad because it's just not working for you. That's not how life works, man. You got to figure it out. Everybody else did.
I'm curious. What did Braylon Mullen get paid to stay another year? I hear that A&M is paying P.J. Haggerty $4 million. Now, if I'm Haggerty, that's probably the most money I'm ever going to make in my pro career. I don't see him as an NBA first-round guy with guaranteed money for a couple of years. $4 million could be the zenith of his career, but I don't understand how A&M can ever recover that kind of money. It's almost like a lost leader. How long can we continue this sort of financial model?
But like I said, it doesn't matter. Because if it all went 50% or 75% down, it's still okay. So so the next PJ Haggerty gets $1 million. That's still a fortune.
Oh, I know.
And so it doesn't matter if this is sustainable at this level. But there's been no indication that the people who are funding it want out. We keep seeing that those things escalate. We believe that Braylon Mullins will be paid in excess of $5 million to play at UConn next year.
$5 million.
That's what the reports have been. Now,
that's incredible.
I never know if any of these numbers are true. It's advantageous to the agents who represent the particular athlete for it to sound as good as possible, so that someone else can be the next client that gets repped by that agent. But whatever it is, it's still a fortune. Well, and a quarter of this is still a fortune.
Here's my question, though. What did Kentucky pay last year for their NIL? Because I've heard rumors from 15 to 20 million.
The number that everybody throws around like it's a manhole cover meant to injure any adjacent Kentucky people is 22 million. I don't know if that's true or not, but they invested a lot in one player who barely played for them because he was coming off an ACL injury, and they didn't do due diligence on what that would mean. Would the player be ready? Would the player want to be ready? I think ultimately that there wasn't a great desire to compete. That it was more about protecting health and status for the draft. In a lot of cases in college basketball, I can't say for certain that is what happened with Jaden Quaintance, but I suspect that was a factor.
So those boosters that put up $22 million, you got to go back to them this year and ask for that money again. And my question is, how long, even at Michigan where they won the darn thing, I don't know what their budget was. I don't think it was $22 million. How long are boosters who have to pay for other things too, how long are they going to be willing to do that?
As I said before, it doesn't matter. because there will always be boosters who want to win. And they, in the past, have built. The difference now is that you don't build anything that you can get your name on. That's the difference. You can't get your name on the player who wins your team a national championship. Like there's no, this Yaxel Lindeborg appearance was sponsored by Joe Smith, the CEO of Joe's Tech Company, whatever. I mean, you don't get that, but it's the same concept. Before it was, okay, if a practice facility is going to make us better, then I will donate $20 million, and then you can put my name on the building. Well, that doesn't happen any longer, or it happens to a lesser degree because more money is needed to fund the player compensation. But a lot of those facilities that were built weren't necessary. I've been in some of the most amazing locker rooms and like, who cares? Like, it didn't matter, but they had to spend the money on something because they were nonprofits and because, well, somebody else had the idea to spend the money on a nice practice facility with unbelievable locker rooms, so I guess we got to catch up.
Like the waterfall at the Alabama football locker room?
There you go. I was in Alabama's football facility in like 1985 or 86 when Penn State played down there, and even then I wrote that it was like being in a corporate office, like for U.S. Steel or Mellon Bank or FedEx or whatever. It was like it was beautiful. It was like being in a Fortune 500 building, maybe not quite as large because you didn't contain as many people, but all the same concepts and amenities. And that was in 1985. And look how far we've come since then in terms of how much money there is and how much money you had to spend.
Yeah. Next week, remind me because we're out of time. I would like to talk about the Big Ten against and the SEC, their thoughts on football, the playoff, maybe an expansion of the NCAA tournament. We'll get into that next Monday. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Thanks, as always.
Dave. It was fun.
That is Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. We take a break. When we come back, Mr. 100,000. That's in golf lessons. That's Ted Butler. He comes your way right around the corner.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Attention business owners, now you can protect what matters most with EnviroMaster Services. EnviroMaster is a health and safety company providing complete disease prevention and odor control programs for commercial properties and restrooms. Don't take a chance. Let EnviroMaster kill the germs that kill your business. Right now, EnviroMaster is protecting over 300 Memphis area customers. So let EnviroMaster protect your business. Call 901-500-5361 or go to enviro-master.com.
Are you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers has events for you non-pickleballers too, like mahjong, trivia, and whiskey and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please drink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We are headed to Putt-Putt. Golf and games on Summer Avenue, where Mr. 100,000 golf lessons in 50 years. I can't.
No, it's more than that.
How many years?
Oh, I started in 1966.
Oh my gosh!
And I gave a lot of free lessons in New Jersey.
That's 60 years.
Yeah,
60 years. Wow.
Yeah, it's not all the ones at Putt-Putt. There were way many lessons before I came here.
Yeah. 100,000. When did that realization hit? That was a nice article Jeff Calkins wrote about you, I must say.
There was a friend of mine I was teaching came in about 3 weeks ago, and he asked me, he said, how many lessons do you think you've given? I guess. I said, I'm getting close to 100,000. And he goes, okay. So he told Jeff. And then Jeff called me, and he came out here for the interview. This was not an intentional thing. We were just talking. And I just started thinking back about it, and I said, well, it's actually right.
100,000. So you go back, you start calculating. That's mind-boggling. I mean,
well, the year with Bert Dargy, Pro Golf Discounter, Hoffman Golf, my own business that I had. I mean, there were way many things I did before here, and this is 40 years here.
Right.
So
that that in its own right is truly amazing. And I guess the reason that you did this was you started by doing this to get free golf at Chickasaw or something of that nature?
No. That was in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
When I came home from college in the summer, I'm going to Memphis State. I went back to New Jersey, and I could play this golf course for free. They say if you give the members some lessons, so which I did, and then it got into group lessons, like 20 people at a time, and then one by one at the end. It was just a lot. So before I ever went to Chickasaw, I'd already given a multitude of lessons.
My guess is it's clear you've given more golf lessons here to more people than any human being ever in the Memphis area. I'm not sure you haven't given more golf lessons to anybody in the country. Is there anybody that would come in your league? Butch Harmon?
Well, Butch Harmon, Ledbetter, Harvey Pennick, those guys, back then, Bob Toski.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that, they've got a ton of publicity for if they're working with tour players, but and there's probably guys around the country. I don't know. I have got a little excessive with it.
Well, I just think it's incredible. I really do. I congratulate you. Tip of the cap. I'm so happy for you. But let's take a little walk down memory lane. You mentioned Bert Dargy. That was a great guy who just loved talking golf and making clubs.
Oh, yeah?
And he would give some lessons. But you worked for him as well.
I gave him for like 6 or 7 years. I had a room upstairs in Dargy's building, and then we moved over to Poplar Avenue. I had a room in the back like I do here, and all I did was give lessons. Bert didn't give any official lessons. He would talk to you up front.
Yeah.
And mostly give you the wrong information, but he was a good talker though.
Who were over these years some of your favorite names? Probably we'd recognize your favorite lessons that you gave. Your favorite students.
Oh, jeez, there's so that list is.
I know you got a million. I mean, from David Gossett to Rachel Hack to several pros. That are here, like Bobby Cochran, exactly.
Right.
Who still go to you?
To Schinnebarger, and a lot of the pros around town used to take lessons when they were at Memphis State, and Dan Chartrand, and I worked for Jim Cook for a while when he was the golf coach at Memphis State, and they would come out here on Wednesday, and I would work with the whole team on a Wednesday afternoon. And I did that with the Christian Brothers High School, too, when they were winning state tournaments all the time. And that was all free stuff.
That was when
Christian
Jason Walters was on that team,
Brothers.
correct?
Yeah, Jason, right. And Bob Gossett was the coach, right?
Right. Well, let's not, some of these great amateurs, I know to this day, Ed McDougal, who played in the Pub Links against, what's her name? Married to Jerry West now. How can I?
I don't know. I get Jerry West a lesson, too. Or 3 lessons, actually.
Wow. And he was a pretty good player. But Ed McDougal comes to you for tune-ups.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We don't do a lot of stuff. He's a golfer. He's not a technician. He doesn't need to know all these ins and outs of a golf swing. He knows how to play golf. He knows his game.
Michelle Wee is who I was trying to think of.
Oh,
crazy.
Okay. Well, no, I never gave her a lesson.
No, you didn't give her, but he played against Michelle Wee in the National Pub Links, and I believe he lost to her they both got to the knockout round, and he lost to her in like the quarterfinals or something like that.
Wow, it's a while ago.
Yeah. Over all these years, how has your teaching processes changed?
I've been a fundamentalist from the beginning. I like the way Butch Harmon teaches. He's very fundamental, and as time goes on, there's new ways of communication. The video and all the new high tech equipment and stuff like that. But it still comes down to 4 parts. I mean, there's a grip, there's a stance, there's a backswing, and there's a downswing. I mean, that's a golf swing. If the grip is wrong, then you got to learn all the compensations that go with it. And some people do. So I try and stay fundamentally sound where people can do it, and guys that want to go deeper, we will. It depends on who I'm dealing with. Where are they trying to go with golf? They want to play once a week. They want to be a tour player. It changes a little bit, and then I have to deal with what they can do physically. Can they move? Can they turn? Can they shift? It's everybody's a little bit different.
I do remember when I first started going to you, you just sort of referred to the pictures on the wall. Now you have all the technology with the video that you go back and forth on, and then show us with a still shot that looks like that picture right there, and you go, oh, wow, I do, huh? But technology has changed. It's made it easier for you, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think so. The best part for me is the video camera that I can slow it down frame by frame, show them exactly what they're doing. When I first started teaching, I would tell them, but I didn't really know because I couldn't see it. And at Chickasaw, it was going so fast, heck, I didn't know. So I got into video right away. And then it in slow motion, you can see a lot of things. And there's more high-tech equipment now that for the advanced, really superstar players use, but a 15 handicapper can't do all that stuff.
Can a 15 handicapper learn from the numbers that you get from the tracers that you guys even have at?
Oh, absolutely.
At putt-putt?
Oh, absolutely. Most of the people here don't know how far they hit the ball. They think they do, but they don't. Usually it's the best 7-iron they ever hit. They hit a downslope and went to about 150. Well, I hit my 7-iron 150. Well, it carries about 128, and then it bounces and rolls sometimes. They don't hit it 150. Everybody thinks they hit it farther than they do.
Yeah. Man.
So you have to learn to deal with that, too.
Yeah. I think that is, you got, I know several players have said to me, and I don't know if you've said this, but they go, as you get a little older here, go one extra club. Maybe it's okay once or twice around to hit the ball over the green, because most of the time you're going to end up being short.
That's right. Absolutely. We can't move as well as we used to. You can't swing as fast. You can't turn as fast. You use a little more club. Get a little humble, and let your ego get out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let my ego get out of the way if I score better. That's 100%. I promise you.
One leads to the other.
Let me ask you, because it's in the news, Liv may be folding. What would you do with the stars from Liv, especially those that were PGA Tour members? What would you do? You heard Tom Watson. He said lifetime ban is lifetime ban. I'm not sure I'd go that route.
I don't think so either, because they could use some of those guys back over here. DeChambeau, and I don't think there's very many on the Live Tour that would enhance this tour at all if they could even make it.
DeChambeau and Rahm are probably the only two. I guess you could throw Cam Smith in.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're really good players.
How about Tyrrell Hatton?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not like Watson. I don't say never come back. Here's what I do say, though. I say make them go through the Korn Ferry Tour. They're going to have to pay the penalty. And then if they win twice on Korn Ferry Tour, they're in. Or if they're in the top 25, I think is what the end result is, then they're in. Otherwise, too bad.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe a good idea. It's a hard thing to figure out. You like to have the best player. You really would like to have Cam and DeChambeau and Rahm on this tour. Just like Koepka came back. You'd like to have the best players in the world, and they're in that group on the tour. And they pay a penalty to get here. The rest of them are just so-so. They're just now starting to play 72 holes.
Speaking of... Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Well, they get music playing and all that.
Oh,
it's not really
I can't stand
it's not real golf.
And I'm not into the team thing that everybody thought was going to be the rage. All right, last thing, as surprising as 100,000 golf lessons in a career could possibly be, is that as crazy as Bryson DeChambeau using a 3D printer to make his own 5-iron that he used at Augusta?
That's out of my league. I don't know. I mean, he's on a different plane than anybody else. Making his own adjustments on clubs and this and that, and he goes out and he lines up wrong, takes the club inside, and it's a big old sweeping hook and plays on the club.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on a different planet than the rest of them. He's taken this deeper than anybody's ever gone with golf.
Well, he's gone a little.
If he can do it, well, you just can't swing as hard as you can every single time, and play great golf.
I agree.
If it all clicks for a while, you get it for a bit, but yeah, he's on a different planet.
No doubt. You are too. 100,000 lessons. I salute you. I clap my hands. I'm happy for you. And I'm coming to see you in the next 2 weeks. We'll set that up.
This was not meant to be. This was a guy asked me off the cuff, and I told him. He told another guy, and he told Calkins. This was not intentional.
It doesn't matter. You deserve it. 100,000. And Calkins makes a good point. How many people do 100,000 things over a career in one time? Nobody. I don't think I've ever done. And I've been doing shows in this market since 1983. I'd have to count them up, but I guarantee you, I'm nowhere near 100,000. That's crazy.
So do we count the lessons I've given on your show and George's show?
If we do, it's up. It's up. Yes.
That's okay.
Which we'll get one next week. Thank you, Ted. Right. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dave.
That is Ted Butler on golf. He's brought to you by Memphis Public Links. You know what makes a great city? Amenities. We're talking parks and museums, and I think golf courses, and I think this city knows that. They hired Mickey Barker. Since he's been here, look at the renovations, including the private sector, which did Overton Park. What they did at Galloway several years ago makes it one of the great public golf courses, I think, in the country. They've redone Audubon, where they can have NCAA tournaments on. It's become a heck of a golf course. Pine Hill, too, 90 years of history. They redid it. Now, the front is shorter. The back is longer. It's a true test, and you better hit all the shots there, too. You can't just roll it up and fake it. Not at Pine Hill. It's clearly an amenity, and Memphis understood it. If you go to memphispubliclinks.com to get your tee time. They are modern now. You can get your tee time online. You will be wowed. I promise you. Make sure you tell them we sent you. That'll do it for us. Johnny Radio is right around the corner. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.